Now I'd like to introduce Ivan Guzenko of SmartyAds.
Thank you for getting me here Friday night. I'll try to be light on the slides and I'll try to be a little bit philosophical about the blockchain in general, because I think that this topic needs a little bit philosophy. So I wanted to say today about fraud, about different types of blockchains, and about what it can solve. I would want to take on that from a different perspective. Let's think what are the real problems of the industry today. And in my opinion, the problems are in not only the world governance, but in how the industry is made and why the industry wants to play by different rules that are not probably beneficial to end buyers or sellers. Anyways, so at SmartyAds, I can oversee different sides of the industry because we kind of run from the publisher to the advertiser, and we run SSP, DSP, ad exchange, and have our own blockchain. Don't want to get you bored with that. What I can see in between that the SSP, the DSP, and the ad exchanges are almost a legacy right now. I mean, we're all talking about that, but I'm questioning myself, when will be a moment in the future when we can really get rid of that stuff? And we've had some approaches to that, like think about the header bidding, think about the server-side header bidding. At the core of it is always the willingness of the publishers to sell at the biggest possible price, and it's always the willingness of the advertiser to approach the end user individually, to approach the end user at the right moment, and not to put an ad in the face, but to really tell a story. I mean, are we doing it right now? No. I mean, have you ever been in the situation, and I guess everyone in the room had been in this situation, when the ad had been chasing you like infinitely, even after you purchase something, and even if you purchase something different? I think it happened to everyone. And we should give a name to that because it's some kind of a data fraud to me. So, have you ever been in the situation as a marketer when you have all the data from a DMP, but you can't even question a DMP about the origin of the data, and you can't really go as granular as, well, per user. You can't ask, like, who is that particular person, even anonymously. You can't, because they would tell that it's a secret sauce, it's a decision made by super engineers from the Mars, whatever. No true. What if I pay to different DMPs and I want to pull my data back? It's not possible. So, can blockchain solve that? I don't know. Honestly, the problem is we are all talking about the blockchain as some kind of a panacea, as some kind of a holy grail. I think that, guys, we need to talk more to each other. I mean, it's an ignorant-driven industry. Blockchain is just another buzzword. I mean, I love blockchain. I'm a big blockchain enthusiast. But are we trying to solve blockchain now, or are we trying to solve problems in the industry? And when I was coming here, I was thinking about what's the smallest problem we can really solve with the blockchain. And if we scroll back to where all the craze happened, the craze happened when the Bitcoin came in place. I mean, I remember the old blockchain gatherings, and they were smaller than this room. And it was just circles of people thinking likewise about the economy of the future, and we were considered geeks at this time. I think what happened after, we've got this hockey stick when the Bitcoin went on the craze, and I still don't know why it happened. But at the same time, let's think about the smallest problem. And the smallest problem I can see is that if you are a really small publisher that can't bring millions of users, you can't really sell. Because Google won't take you, SSPs won't onboard you. What options do you have? Maybe I have a very good community. For example, I live in Gutenberg and I have a community and a small website for my house. It's like 3,000 people. Am I a good publisher? Probably yes. Am I geolocated? Probably yes. Do I have data? Yes, of course I do. Am I interesting for any programmatic player out there? No, I'm not. So it boils down to the moment when agencies have a whitelist of Comscore 1,000 websites, and they buy by the whitelist, not because they are bad, because they assume that the users will be there. So Can we solve it with a blockchain? Probably yes. How can we solve that? Okay, let's assume that the origin of every user can potentially be put into the blockchain and delivered through successfully all the fragmented ecosystem and really show to the end buyer in the prime state, maybe anonymous, maybe, maybe even not anonymous if the user wants to disclose the information, because think about the Brave browser, the user gets paid for being disclosed. I mean, not all the users are in the anonymous mode anymore. It's a different question, but scrolling back to payments. Are the payments fairly distributed in the ecosystem? I don't think so, because right now it's 75%, and think about it, 75% is a lot out of the billion industry are lost on the way. I mean, if I'm a publisher, I would probably get 30 cents at the end, and I don't even know how am I priced at the end. I mean, if I have header bidding, is that going to help? But right now we are on the server side header bidding stage. What happened? We got back to the SSP model. Can I trust an SSP? Well, I wish I could trust an SSP, but I am an SSP, and I can tell we play a lot of games to survive. And everyone does, and I just want to be honest with the audience. Everyone does. So, how we just this game? Well, we don't break the contract, but do we play with the second prize? Do every player in the industry do something to earn the money? Of course, yes, because you have all these offices, we should be part of it. We want to the rich, right? So,
You're the most honest person in tech I've ever heard.
I'm sorry. I'm breaking the rules. So, what if we can just pay publishers as the impression originator? Can we do this with a smart contract? Yes, we can. Do this, I mean, it's not even an argument where this smart contract should lead. The technology itself, with every blockchain existent in the world, can support it in this or that way. I mean, every blockchain that supports smart contracts. For the end user, does it have to be simple? Yes, it does, because right now, I mean, there are so many solutions, but there is not a single solution where I can go as a publisher, for example, and really be paid on the fly. And I do want that, because I mean, waiting for the net terms is critical for some businesses, especially for the smaller businesses. And even if you run a very good studio and you have billions of users and you have Angry Birds of this world, do you have problem being sold out? Probably you do. Blockchain solves that, because actually that's where the token is relevant. And then many chains try to pull in the tokens, and I'm not trying to be critical, but it's just what I can see, just for the sake of own survival. I would be honest with you, not every blockchain need a token at all. Not every blockchain need mining at all. Encryption, yes. Can encryption be achieved without that stuff? Yes. Well, decentralization. I would like to dream about the tremendous decentralized marketplace that goes peer-to-peer. Once again, do we need blockchain for that? No, because, I mean, think about torrents, right? They're decentralized without the blockchain, without money, without everything. And they're pretty effective, right? I mean, many governments try to block them. No one could. The thing is, which problem are we trying to solve? Fraud, I don't believe that fraud can be solved with blockchain. Why? Because I've been on the fraud side for many years. I know how fraud is made. It's simply trying to, I don't know, cure cancer with my shoelace. You know? You can't do that. It's not. It doesn't exist in the same parallel universe. You can kind of solve some types of the fraud with that, like the fraud of the mediators, and we all talk about the intermediaries. And then are intermediaries fraud? I mean, if I go to the exchange and the exchange don't disclose me, I should probably try. And that's about the ecosystem a little bit, right? That's about how things are working right now. This will be contact and different people who are dominant in the industry. That kind of an approach is not ideal approach. That is something we are doing with Papyrus right now, and Papyrus is just the name of the blockchain. But like scrolling back, what is the smallest problem that you guys want to solve? I want to solve the problem with the payment. We solved it with Papyrus. Is it the only solution to that? No, you basically can solve it yourself. You can go to Ethereum, you can buy some tokens, you can open a smart contract. Do you need to go to a big company for that? No. Why is it beautiful to go to any blockchain that supports smart contracts and just do something on that if you can program a little bit? Because you don't need a single body of authorization. Why I like different models that speak about different consortiums, because when we have a consortium of people that just come together and think that they can solve something, they don't need a commercial body to pay for that. And that's the whole idea about the decentralization. So all this philosophy that I'm trying to bring today to the table is that blockchain is not about the blockchain. Blockchain is about people talking to each other and trying to define the problem. Blockchain is about me talking to every client and saying, hey, what level of transparency do you want to achieve? And then it's about if you need the blockchain against if you don't need, and don't will be predominant. Because if you can solve it without the blockchain, please solve it without the blockchain. Why? Because blockchains are still expensive. Blockchains are still not decentralized. Think about that. I mean, if I'm Papyrus blockchain and my nodes live only with me and I can't give it to everyone for free, and then I don't have access to the source code, which is arguable, of course, then I'm not decentralized. Then the question is, am I enough decentralized? And sometimes we start solving blockchain problems instead of solving advertising problems. So my end goal is to solve advertising problems. And that's about the education. Let's educate each other, let's talk, let's think where we really need the blockchain, and let's try to make it so.